Greetings. How you doing? Got my trusty guitar right here. I thought I'd start off maybe with a little tune, a love song for you, in case you've fallen out of love with Miami, with journalism, with me. Here's a little love song. Okay, I'm not really playing, but that's hold on. That's not me. That's Tesla. That's my favorite rock band of all time. Tesla. I've seen them. Here's a pic that I got from the front row of a Tesla concert. I've seen them. I don't know, 17 times, 18 times. I'm not sure. A lot. But that song is called Love Song, creative title, Tesla. And it was a big hit in the late 80s. And that's, yeah, I can't really, I mean, I can kind of play a little bit. And I can get, some chords going, but, and I can do the beginning of that song a little bit. But, not very good. I've had this guitar for a long time, and it has, you probably can't see it, it has a lovely layer of dust because I always say I'm going to practice, but I end up really not practicing, which is a shame. If you know how to play guitar and you want to give me lessons and suffer while I play terribly, then let me know. But yeah, speaking of love, I just happened to be cleaning out some things, and the box back here. See that box right there? Maybe I thought I'd show you this. It has writing right here. Marie Billman is my mom. My mama's mama. She married Edgar Beyer, and if I open this up, you can see when she got this box. She got this on New Year's Eve of 1932. That's her handwriting. Boy, they had such good handwriting back then. And inside the box, people, are love letters from my grandpa to my grandma before they got married. So she lived on Jefferson Avenue in Huntington. So there's Marie Billman, and let me see if it has the. How about I read you a little bit of a love letter between my grandpa and grandma before they got married. So here we go. Look at the handwriting, first of all, which is crazy. This is my grandpa's handwriting. I don't think he finished 8th grade. There's the date of the letter, January 16th, 1929. Holy smokes, that's 91 years ago. And he was in Russell, Kentucky at the time. He worked for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad, which is why we have, I don't know if you can see it, up right there is the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad routes that my grandpa did back in the early 1900s. Anyway, here's the letter, and it starts with, "My dearest, darling sweetheart." Oh, that's nice. Let's see. I'm feeling a whole lot better today, and sure hope my darling baby is feeling the same. For, dearest, when you say you are sick, why, I am too. Oh, that's so sweet, except he didn't add the O on two, but we'll forgive him. I am too. For dear, I feel the same as you do, for my heart is with yours, dear, and nowhere else. Oh, my God. Oh, oh. We used to write love letters in school too, but not like that. Not like that. My heart is yours. When you are sick, I am sick. Oh, goodness gracious. That's lovely. Well, you know what else is lovely, and that's the AP style book. Do you like that? Anyway, so we're going to talk about that today. If you can get out your AP Stylebook Topics document, you'll see we've gone through the first 7, which starts with collective nouns, ends with names, and now we're going to go through the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics, numerals, through titles. So we're going to go all the way on to the end of that first page. We're not going to get into the punctuation just quite yet. I'm going to go through this fast because you can read, and most of this is really pretty basic information. I don't ever expect you to remember the proper way to write the age of somebody or the correct way to write a school grade when it comes to numerals or state names. any of these things, any of these topics. I don't expect you to commit these to memory. What I do expect you to do is to know the specific topics that you need. You need to remember those. So when you do have to write a monetary value, that the bells and whistles go off in your brain. Oh, this is a number, and numbers are a thing this semester in this class. So I need to make sure I'm writing this number correctly. If you don't care about this, and frankly, I understand, you just don't think this is that big a deal, then find somebody on your editing team, editing stage of your writing team, who does care about this. So you just write the number how you want to write the number, but you know that numbers are a thing, and you send this off to the person who knows numbers or cares to know, and ask that person to check all the numbers in your paper. But the more that you can learn about this and the more that you can write cleanly, then the better you look when you are writing for whatever it is you decide to write for someday, when you can write clean content. So we're going to start with numerals. Again, if you have a hard copy of your AP style book, that's great. If not, you can just type in numerals, which I'm doing right now online by going to Miami's libraries, and you'll see under what came up for me was Roman numerals first, and then under that is the listing for numerals. So I clicked on that. In general, spell out 1 through 9, and they give you some examples in all of these listings. So just think in terms of chairs, guitars, puppies, love letters. If you are saying, my grandpa wrote 120 love letters to my grandma in 1 year, 120 is above the number 10, and so you would write the Arabic numeral, so the actual 1 and 2 and 0, instead of writing out the word 120. This is common sense. Think of a really big number like 5,640. Would you rather type the Arabic numerals, and would you rather read the Arabic numerals than the writing out word form of that number? And of course, we'd rather read the Arabic numerals and type them. So think of that just in terms of general things. 10 is the magic number. Once you get to 10, then you start to use the Arabic number instead of the word. All right, so that's just in general. The next one under numerals is ages. So I'm scrolling down to ages. And this shows that even if it's under 10, you use the Arabic numeral always for ages. Why? I don't know. It's just the rule. And, I don't like chaos and haphazardness. So that's why we have these rules, is to have some sort of uniformity through all writing. So for ages, it's always the Arabic numeral. Please notice that when they are used as adjectives, like a 6-year-old girl is that first example in this topic, you see that the hyphens attached to 6-year-old, and that's because you have more than one word that is modifying a noun, which is girl, which means you must bring those words together, in this case, with hyphens. So they give you more examples. The difference between a 5-year-old boy, where you see the hyphens, but the boy is 5 years old. In those cases, in that case, you would not have hyphens. Notice also the woman's in her 30s, no apostrophe between the 30 and the S. So that's ages. We go down to dates, years, and decades. Pretty self-explanatory here. You should already know about months, that you would abbreviate February, because in this example they give in this listing, because you have the specific date. Notice, please, the class of 66. See where that apostrophe goes? It goes before the 66, because the 19, we're assuming it's a class of 1966, the 19 has been eliminated. That's one thing that apostrophes do. They take away information. If I say, it's cold outside, the apostrophe from apostrophe land up there in the sky has decided to smite the I and is. That's the apostrophe smiting the I. And the I is now dead, lying on the ground, and the apostrophe replaces it. It stands for it is in some cases. And so in all cases, so you've got it is, the I is gone. Same thing with class of 66. The apostrophe goes before the 66. Why? Because the apostrophe has smited the 19. It is gone. Also notice the 1950s, 1980s, 2000s, just an S. No apostrophe. It's plural. It's more than one year in the 50s. So it's just plural. It's just like your family might have a stone or a tablet outside your house that says the Smiths. why every time I swear I go by houses that have this and there's an apostrophe between the name and the S. Why? It's just more than one Smith lives there. Daddy Smith and Mama Smith and little Sally Smith and little Billy Smith and little dog Fido Smith. More than one Smith. It's just an S. The Smiths. Just add an S. Same thing here with the 50s. Same thing with when we went up to the ages. Somebody's in their 30s. Just add an S. All right, so that's date, years, and decades. We move into dimensions, including depth, height, length, and width. Just keep this in mind that the numbers need to be Arabic numeral always, even if they are under 10. So there are times where you ignore the in general rule for numerals and you see how to write things like he is 5 feet 6 inches tall, or the 5'6" man. Notice inch is understood, so it's left off. Notice that it's a adjective describing the man. So just like the 6-year-old boy, you have those hyphens in front of the noun because they become what's called a compound modifier, more than one word modifying. So again, don't need to memorize all this, but when you are writing the height of something, the length of something, the depth of something, the width of something, just say, oh God, that's a number. Reader's psychotic about this, so I better go check my AP style book to make sure I'm right. Or have your AP stylebook numerals minion go into your writing and say check all numbers to make sure that I've written them correctly. Next one is distances. For some reason, when it comes to distances, you use Arabic numerals always. So there you go. He walked 4 miles and you don't use the word for, you use the number 4. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. It just is. So please follow that. Millions, billions, and trillions. You stick down there and you see, or scroll down to that, or look in your book. You always use a figure word combination. 1 million people. Notice the 1 is an Arabic numeral, and then look at $2 billion. You'll see that the dollar sign goes before the number, even though we're reading dollars as last. We put the dollar sign before the 2, and there's no dollars word after billion because that's what the dollar sign means. So $2 billion looks like a dollar sign, a 2, Arabic numeral, and then the word billion. Monetary units, if you look under that listing, it's right under millions, billions, and trillions. It just shows you how to write things like 5 cents, $5 bill, things like that. Next is school grades. School grades follows Arabic, the in general rule for Arabic numerals, and then when to use the words. So second grade, you would use the word second, but if it's 10th grade, you would use the Arabic numeral 10. And notice you do use the TH, unlike with dates. You add that TH because if not, people would read it as 10th grade. So TH goes there. Also, 4th grade, 5th grader, you see those are noun forms. But if I said the 4th grade girl went to school, 4th grade becomes a compound modifier. And so instead of 2 separate words, there's a hyphen between 4th and grade. I'm going pretty fast on all these things, I know, but I'm assuming that you can understand it if you just spend a little time looking at these things, or when you know that you're using a number that you go into the style book, you see the examples, and you make it work.